Today we are joined by a true legend in the sport of professional wrestling, none other than Rocky Johnson, who is also the father of The Rock, a true superstar in the business today. Movie star as well.
Yeah, well, you could call him that.
He's reaching out, right?
Yeah, he sure is. I'm very proud of him.
I guess my very first question to you is, what was it like growing up as a descendant of a slave? I think that was brought to our attention.
Well, I never looked at it that way. I just looked at it as growing up and trying to be somebody, trying to make myself something. And yeah, I was growing up as a descendant of a slave, but I never dwelled on that. I tried to be the best I could with what I had.
What kind of stories did your father pass down to you about slavery?
He passed down how hard it was for him and mostly how hard it was for his father, being a slave, working in the coal mines for hardly nothing. And never had one thing I'll say about my dad, I didn't know my grandfather very well, but my dad, and never had a chip on his shoulder.
Right.
He always said, if you want it, go work for it. Nobody's going to give it to you. And he worked hard. And I looked around and I said, it's got to be more to life than this.
Where did you grow up at?
Nova Scotia, Canada. He worked in the coal mines, worked in the foundry for hardly nothing.
All right.
But he always made sure we had meals on the table. They weren't always hot, but, we never starved.
How did you get into working out as far as bodybuilding and stuff?
Always had a dream. I used to save my money, and in those days you could buy a boxing book, and it had boxing and wrestling and weightlifting for like 25 cents, and I'd buy it old for like 15 cents. And I used to look, and I had a dream, and I'd say, I want to be a boxer, I want to be a wrestler, I want to be a weightlifter. And I took cement blocks, and I'd take a broomstick and tie them all together and start working out and stuff like that. I had a dream, and I had a goal. You could say I was like Martin Luther King. I had a dream. I didn't know what the dream was, but I knew there was something beyond that mountain.
How old were you around this
time? 13, 14.
13 or 14?
Yeah, but I knew there was something there, and I just didn't know what it was, but I knew I was going to search for it.
As far as high school, you completed high school and all that?
No, I didn't complete high school. I left when I was in grade 11.
Wow. After that, what did you do as far as job-wise?
I went to the coal mines for 90 cents an hour, $7.20 a day.
Wow. What was that like?
Horrible. I was there, interesting story, and I don't know if God did it or who did it. I used to work from 7 to 3 and got 90 cents an hour. And I went in Thursday, and I left, and the guy, pit boss, he says, tomorrow you're coming in at 3 o'clock. And that was a Friday. We used to go to Indian reservations and have parties, and boy, I was mad because now I can't go. And next day the mine blew up. The shift I was on, there was 152 down there.
Wow.
And they're still there.
Huh.
So I don't know if that was a blessing or guardian angel or what.
Yeah, lucky.
Lucky ain't the word.
From there, where did you go as far as...
I saved my money and hitchhiked to Toronto, Ontario. Got a job in the car wash. $1.10 an hour.
How long did you stay in that area for?
I stayed in that area and probably for about 5 years. I joined Trinity Recreation Center. It would be like equivalent to a YMCA.
Is that where you started boxing and stuff?
I started boxing there, and I boxed, and then I went amateur. I started boxing amateur and won the Golden Gloves 2 years in a row. You can't do that today. I think you can only win one. And one day I was down there training. A guy came in. His name was Rocky Bowley. God bless him. And it was a big snowstorm. He was in the ring wrestling. He had nobody to train with. And of course, I wasn't smart at the time.
Right.
And I was there hitting the bag and got to talking to him. He said, come on in, I'll show you a couple holes. And he'd show me the headlock and actually put it on tight. So we're in arm bar, not enough to break the arm, but enough to convince me.
Right.
And, and he's going, and I told him I was interested about it. He's going, don't hit me hard. And I'm wondering, well, this guy's big wrestling. He's worried about me hitting him hard. But I didn't know it was working.
Right.
Didn't know the difference between working and shooting.
Right,
I was scared I was going to tag him. And I got interested, and I went down early a few times and started showing me a few holes. And I got interested. He said, kid, he said, there's a gym in Hamilton. And it was Jack Whitworth's wrestling school. I took a bus and went over. And I talked to Jack, and I started going to wrestling school over there.
Were you a wrestling fan at any point before this?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so
I watched it. Never went to the matches.
Right.
But I watched it on TV because it was free. It used to come on Saturday morning, and it would come on Sunday night. And there was Whipper Billy Watson, Lord Affleton, Pat Flanagan. Then I started going through the matches and stuff like that. And of course, the school, it's not like it is today. They didn't smarten you up right away.
Right, right.
And I went over at 5'11". When I left, I was 6'2".
Wow.
And let me know what time it was. And I said, boy, then I got the chip, they're going to hurt me. One day I'm going to show them. And I think that's maybe what I am today, because I think today, yeah, you can pay $30-$40 for a pair of boots, give somebody $3,000-$4,000, and
They
you
think
become
they're a
a
worker.
wrestler. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm the greatest worker there is. I mean, a few days I couldn't go to work at the car wash.
Huh.
I remember Carl Coop, God bless his soul, Murray Cummins, Johnny Powers, and they kicked the hell out of me.
Huh.
But they taught me respect for the business.
Right. The way it should be.
And it so happened, Whippy Billy Watson was running for senator in Canada. I was talking Toronto, Canada. Called Jack Wentworth, and he didn't know how to get black votes, and I wasn't smart. I was half smart at that time.
Right.
And he asked Jack if I hadn't talked to him or anything. You any black kids over there? Jack said, I got one kid there, a little bit cocky. Was about 215, not a bad kid. Jack pulled me aside, hey kid, I'm going to, and he's telling me what he's going to do for me. I didn't know he had talked to Whipper Watson. And, he said, I want you to go to Channel 9. Whipper Watson wants to see you. Boy, he couldn't talk to me. An old pair of boots on.
Huh.
Here I go. I tell my mother, I tell everybody, got $25. Whipper Watson, I never forget my first match. I worked with Fergal Sabisco. I was scared to death, couldn't swallow, couldn't breathe.
Huh.
His philosophy was, I didn't know much. The less I go, the less mistakes I make.
Right.
I remember I went a minute and 47 seconds, and I beat him with 4 drop kicks. Whipper gets on TV, and he goes, this is my protege. I've been training him 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this kid's going to be next world champion. I go home. My mother goes, you just met him.
Huh.
Anyway, bottom line, lost election. Sends me out to the dungeon, Stu Hart in Calgary.
Wow.
I get stretched out there for 2 years.
By Stu?
Yeah, oh yeah, Stu and everybody else out there. Broke a blood vessel in my eye.
Just from squeezing so much?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Stu's motive was, it's amazing how the human body can stretch.
Jim Neidhart was telling us some stories about the dungeon hell.
He was the saddest.
All right.
I always respected Stu, and I still do, God bless him. But I didn't know the difference between working and shooting. To me, today, a great shooter is, if I don't want him to take that arm, he takes it anyway. Stu would put it on you and then tell you to fight.
Right.
There's a difference, Stu gets you in the eye. I've seen him make guys pass out. I've seen blood come out of their ears, eyes, nose.
Huh.
Stu was the saddest.
Right.
Great guy, loved him to death. But he taught me respect. The problem today is nobody has any respect for the business.
I agree.
Yeah. So.
What was the biggest misconception before you got into the business?
Well, I thought I was going to be a millionaire in
Right.
6 months.
Huh.
Thought I was going to be a superstar. The biggest thing in Canada is hockey. When you're a hockey player, you got it all, boy. And you got the sweet daddy Sikis and the Bobos, Brazils, and the wrestling. I thought I was going to be the biggest black superstar there ever was. And the first week I worked 5 days, and I thought, man, this check, I'm just going to buy a car with it.
Right.
It's like $110 for the week,
Wow. Now, as far as the training, you talked about the training. Who do you think was most responsible for helping you break in? Would Stu, as far as learning?
I would say Stu Hart.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Cool.
Very hot. Very hot.
Thank you. I would say Stu, yeah. If Stu liked you, and if you showed Stu, you had a little bit of backbone. I mean, I've seen guys with 22-inch arms, 50-inch chest, actually run out of the gym crying.
I heard about that too.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I had nothing to lose.
All right. So you stuck in there.
Yeah. Oh, he's made me, I'm not ashamed. I mean, he's made me pass out. He's broke blood vessels in my eyes. He's cracked my ribs. But I had no place to go. Nobody wanted me.
Right.
And I knew there had to be more than working 40 hours a week for $1 an hour. And I had nothing to lose. And I was stubborn, cocky. Yeah, I was. I didn't realize it at the time. And I said, well, I have no choice. And Stu liked that in a person. He would never tell you. Stu would never pat you on the back.
Huh.
But you could, if he liked you, and I stuck in there. And Stu actually called Rod Fenton and got me booked in Vancouver. And he got me booked in my hometown, Nova Scotia.
Right.
And that's when I got my first break. From there, they sent me to Detroit for the Sheik, and the rest was history. Sheik sent me to California, and I went to L.A., and Mike LaBelle says, you're going up there for 6 months, and you're coming back. I stayed 9 years.
Wow. I'm going to ask you all about that.
Yeah, I did.
Definitely.
Sure.
As far as the psychology of the business, who do you think was responsible for teaching you the psychology of the business?
Psychology, I think you have to learn it yourself. You can't teach psychology.
Right.
But you learn a little from you, a little from him. I learned, I watched, and I listened. And Bobo Brazil helped me a lot. But I couldn't be a Bobo Brazil.
Right.
I can't be a Ray Stevens. I couldn't be this guy. But I would take a little from Peter, and I'd take a little from Paul.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.